Thanks for stopping by Big Top Gaming. My name's Brian, and
I'm Ethan.
And today we're going to be playing the two heartthrobs of the Iron Kingdoms, it seems. Ashlynn Llaelese is quite a popular one, and Coleman Stryker is on the tip of every single Cygnar player's tongue, I guess, which is weird, but I'm playing Stryker 1, and Ethan's going to be dropping Ashlynn 2. What theme are you playing in?
I'm playing in Llaelese Resistance.
Shocker. And then I am playing in Heavy Metal, which is kind of a shocker.
Yeah, that's actually a shocker.
It's really shocking.
All right, in my list first, I'm playing Ashlynn 1. I got Sylys, Mangler, Toro, and then I'm in Llaelese Resistance, so not a lot of options for the support, so it's pretty standard. I got myself Anastasia, Gorman, Gibbs for that sweet repo, Ragman, and I'm only running 2 Archons because I'm a snowflake, and it's 2 Thamarites because I think Thamarites are cool. Double gun mages for that sweet sniper action, and then my 2 units of choice for the theme are Exemplar Cinerators, both with the UA.
And for my Stryker list, I'm not doing anything too out of the norm here. I'm in Heavy Metal, so I get my cool repo on Trencher Combat Engineers in this one, but mechanics and solos here. But the repair bonus is kind of nice. It's good when it's good, but otherwise it's whatever. My battle group is a Squire, a Hurricane, and a Lancer. I got 2 Arc Nodes here just because Stryker has a lot of buffs, and I like the idea of being able to juggle them around. Plus, the Lancer is a pretty survivable unit with set defense and a shield. We get up to defense 15 on a charge and armor 18 with a decent amount of boxes for a light. Otherwise, it's 2 Storm Striders, a Journeyman Warcaster with a Firefly. I'm bringing along a Morrowan Archon along with Anastasia di Bray and Arlan Strangewayes to make sure that my Hurricane say is nice and full. So I won the roll to determine who goes first, and I opted to take second so I could sandwich Ethan between these 2 obstructions, the house and the rock there. And I have enough threat extension with the shooting, like 23 inches with the Storm Striders is pretty serious, so I don't care about getting not being able to go first, because I'll connect with Ethan more likely than not.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't want your 3 huge bases to be gummed up between that building and the rock. So I think going second was smart for you. And then you don't have as many contesting pieces too, so going second to let you start scoring first isn't bad.
And pepper your pieces off with some shooting.
Mm-hmm. So there, Ashlynn moved up. I forgot to mention for the theme benefit, you get a 5-inch rubble, which one of your solos can deploy in, and Gorman deployed up in there. Ashlynn went first. She went Quicken on that top unit of Cinerators and put Admo on the Toro where it's going to live all game. So I basically deployed almost symmetrical. I got Thorn Gun Mages up in the top there with a Archon, and they were measuring. I was like, oh, I'll just walk up behind the obstruction. And then we realized, like, wait, you can't even walk and shoot me that far. So I just ran upside 23. There, that unit, I was deciding if I wanted the shield wall, and then I decided I'm going to run 12 because I got that forest there to block me, so I don't need to worry about shooting.
That was like my biggest problem with the table in general, was like the forest was going to get to me because of the huge bases, but I just had to work around it the best I could.
Mm-hmm. And then next to them, the Toro is there running up. And then deployed below him, I got the Mangler. I think he's going to wait a little bit. Then my other unit, Cinerators, then the Thamarite, then the Gun Mages. So it's pretty symmetrical. That way I can kind of react to how he deployed going second. And the Gun Mages, they're cute, this matchup with Sniper on his feet turn and maybe Thunderbolting some stuff out of the zone, so I'm not expecting huge things from them. And the Thamarites are mostly there just for hunting support and trying to scalpel off your flag.
Yeah, I have to be really careful with where I put like my Journeyman and Strangewayes and the Trenchers. Like, Trencher Engineers are weird because they've got decent stats, especially when you do their dig-in, and they've got a gun that they can actually shoot pretty well, so trying to choose between those and the field mechanics, if you want to hit healing really hard, field mechanics are just better for that, but for versatility, I like the Trencher Engineers.
Mm-hmm. And there's all my support just ran up. Those bottom Cinerators are only speed 4, so I only got 4 inches up there, and then everything else just ran up into that trench.
So my big goals for turn 1 is to just put the buffs where I need them and make sure that I stay out of the threat range of quickened Cinerators. Yep, Cinerators. I'll call them everything from Vengers to Bastions to probably Monks. But I also need to respect the Toro because I don't want to feat on turn 1 and just give him all the stuff. Like, I could do that. I could just feat turn 1 and jam everything up there and be like, okay, let's do this. But then you counter feat, and then I have a hard time dealing with anything. So I'm going to try and like start the game at my own pace and be a little bit more cautious going up here. So I just need to stay I think the Toro's the one that threats the furthest. So I've got this 12-inch stick down showing what's going on with everything.
If I put Quicken on it, then it threatens 12.
Yeah, it's the potential for it, right? So I don't want to lose a Storm Strider or watch you cripple something big on the Hurricane just because I felt like I was more comfortable up there. But in terms of buffs, Stryker has put Bullet Dodger on him, or Blur on himself. I had the Bullet Dodger token because I was just confusing him with someone else. And then he's going to kind of live behind these clouds. I'm not too worried about him dying where he's at, but the Thamarite Archons are pretty scary when you're camping nothing. I didn't kick the Squire this turn because I don't feel like I need it. And then the Hurricane got Snipe because I think its guns are a little bit more impressive with Snipe on them than the Storm Strider. Like, Storm Strider will do damage, but Ethan has a lot of shield wall troops, and I need to make sure that those shield wall troops have to respect the storm emitter guns, because when those things are shooting at range 16, you either have to choose like, okay, I shield wall and just take these slams, or I don't shield wall and then just die to a bunch of the little, like, the nipple guns that he has.
Yep, and if they don't shield wall, even those big guns can one-shot a Cinerator.
Yeah.
So you're like, they're POW 15s?
Yep, POW 15 base on the Storm Strider.
So dice off 2.
Yep. And over here, I'm trying to figure out where I want the Morrowan Archon, because I don't want to just like watch Anastasia di Bray come in and take it. So I'm trying to respect that range too, even though I've got my own Anastasia di Bray to work with. But the Journeyman Warcaster is kind of just in a protected spot. I don't want to lose access to my Firefly right away. Or at least like the gun on him, because I still want to have that around. But Storm Striders both have Arcane Shield. I think I didn't mention that. That was the last buff that I needed to put out there. But essentially just getting ready for turn 2, because that's when this game's really going to start.
Mm-hmm. And then your Journeyman down there is protected by the Morrowan. Otherwise, like, I would 100% try and Anastasia him.
Yep. Yeah, I need to make sure that he stays around, because I can't. The other thing is I really like losing the Firefly, whatever. I can't use the gun, but like I do not want to lose Arcane Shield.
Now, going into my turn 2, the big thing with Ashylnn is always, when is she going to feat? Because her feat is, in case you don't know, while in her control area of 12 inches, all models get 2 additional die for attack rolls, and I get to choose what they drop. So for me, I'm going to drop the 2 lowest. For my opponent, they're going to drop the 2 highest. But with him having snipe, all of his guns being farther than 12 inches, if I feat pre his feat, like, he can just back up, or even just say, I'm not going to make attacks, run in with his feet, and call it good. And then there we're measuring some quick Gorman action who ran up behind those woods.
Yep. When I was going through this, I was like, the one thing I need to pay attention to is Gorman, because distraction doesn't matter to me. I just need to be cognizant of Gorman, because blinding a battle engine sucks. And then here I am waltzing Storm Striders up within 12 inches of that stupid model.
I mean, to be fair, Gorman, I have quickened him before just for that 14-inch threat. So, like, if you stay 2 inches back, I think you have to give me one of the battle engines this turn, or they just don't do anything.
Yeah.
Because now we're going in, and, yep, I'm putting down my 6-inch stick, and G-Money is going up there, and he's chucking a blind bomb, and he hits. So I have one of the battle engines I don't have to worry about. And I think maybe I should win for the other one, but I was thinking if I blind the top one, it's going to be hard for him to clear that top zone after a Thorn Gun Mage runs up in there. And then the Thamarite's going to be on the flag behind a wall, so I don't think anything can really clear off that side. And I didn't measure it. I think that Battle Engine could walk and contest my flag, but that's better than him walking and shooting and getting boosted shots into my Thamarite.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it could walk and contest. It would be close, but I do think with you only having 4 models on that top part, and with Strangewayes kind of hanging around back there, and then Anastasia coming in, like, I think you want to make sure that you protect that top zone as much as you can. Plus, I have a lot of weird stuff to have to deal with to get that one Thorn Gun Mage out of the zone.
Mm-hmm. I mean, those middle Cinerators are hiding behind the forest. The theme gives all Llaelese models Pathfinder, so the forest doesn't bother me too much because I can always charge as huge bases, but it's where I put my weapon masters is always important.
Yeah.
And then there I'm trying to plan out, like, do I shield wall this turn? Am I going to walk up? And I'm still debating in my head, am I going to feat? Is that worth it? But then I see with Quicken, I can run 12 inches, and I'm like, I can just jam up this Hurricane now that the top Strider is out of it for the turn. So maybe I can get some work done and just stop that Hurricane from coming up the board in position for next turn. Because I know 100% you're going to feat next turn. It's Striker.
Yeah,
like,
if I don't feat next turn, then the feat is really, like, not going to do much for me. I mean, because you'll probably kill something really important.
Mm-hmm. And I've positioned 1 Cinerator up in that top zone. 3 of them are hiding behind the forest, and then 1's in the forest. Because with Quicken on them and being in the woods, he's defs 11 up to 13 up to 15, which isn't bad.
It's pretty good. I mean, like, aiming with the Storm Strider, I need, like, an 8 to hit you, but...
Mm-hmm. And then there's Ashlynn. She's measuring out some threat ranges. And I'm like, if I walk up, I'm like, I have to feat if he's going to be in, if that Hurricane can get to me. Because I just don't want to die. So there I'm measuring out his melee threat. Toro just kind of runs up. I
think you're measuring the Toro's melee threat and not mine.
No, I was measuring yours because I threaten 10, you threaten 10, but if I Quicken...
Yeah, then that's what you're...
Because then I parked him behind the woods there, and then those Cinerators there are just shield walling, because Gibbs, I believe that's Gibbs, I see him there. Yep, he ran up into that rubble, because he gives all Llaelese models in his Command 7 repo, so... Those Cinerators can shield wall 4 and then walk forward 3 inches in there. You're going to see me hit the building. Like, I think that's the 4th time I've punched it. Yep, there's 5. And I'm waiting for 6.
No, it looks like you're done hitting my building.
Okay, I thought when I ran the Mangler over. Ashlynn went up earlier. She put up Chosen Ground, so now that Mangler can run through that rubble. And I opted not to feat this turn because I'm like, I don't want to feat before Striker, but I don't want to give him too much. And I know, like, those slam guns for those Cinerators are going to hurt. And there I'm measuring, like, if the Thamarite needs to run and contest the flag next turn. And then I got a couple gun mages running up there that contest. 1 got corroded, measuring my sweet 4 inches for the lightning generators, and then just flip it over.
So no feat from Ethan means that I get to do a bunch of work this turn and feat myself. So, like, my like perspective when I play Warmachine is I like to try and be as defensive as I can. But not that I don't disregard the peace trade game, because that's kind of the core of what Warmachine is. But I do like to play quite reactive to my opponent. Although right now I think I'm being pretty proactive. But Stryker gives me a feat and the access between Arcane Shield to be extremely reactive to my opponent's aggression, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
he gives you options.
Yeah, and this allows me to go up a little bit further and figure out what I want to do here. So I do ambush my Anastasia di Bray on Ethan's flag side, and I know that's Alexia 3, but like Anastasia di Bray is probably one of the ugliest models in the universe, so I'd like to get one to convert her up. But otherwise, I haven't bought her. I know she's like not even $10, but I just refuse to have her in my collection because she's just not a good sculpt.
And you were debating whether to go on the top zone, the bottom zone, because I think you were talking about, you're like, am I going to just give you 1 point because you didn't want to throw a jack away to contest my rectangle.
Yep.
So you were thinking, oh, I can contest your flag and then just say whatever for that zone.
Yeah.
Because there's a Mangler towing into the zone barely, so like he's got to. I'm just trying to force you to contest.
Yeah, the Mangler's not going anywhere anytime soon. But like with Anastasia di Bray, like I can take out one gun mage, which is one third of my problem with them right now, being that they exist.
Hey, that's 6 damage if they all shoot that Storm Strider on your feet turn. Like,
yeah, you're basically shooting POW 26s or something like that. Yeah, something close to that. No, it's even higher than that.
Well, I mean, just auto pointing is.
Yeah, This is my first game with Striker 1, so I'm kind of like a novice when it comes to this Cygnar math. But my goal up with Anastasia di Bray is just to like contest the flag, take out a gun mage, and then not have to. That's one less thing I have to worry about. Otherwise, I believe the Storm Strider.
That was Striker going up.
That was Striker, because I was like, okay, I have Arcane Bolt and I can throw some stuff out that way. So I think that's really all he did was load up the Hurricane and then try to Arcane Bolt a Cinerator off the table, which I think I do.
No, he punched that Cinerator.
Yeah, that's right. So he punched it and then tried to Arcane Bolt something.
He killed Gorman with his Arcane Bolt.
Killed Gorman with it. That's what it was. Did we check to see if he was within range for stealth?
He was, because I was within 6
you
of
were
that
within
battle engine.
Yeah, never mind. We're good. I was like, I completely like spaced it until now.
And we figured it out later if I'd put Quicken on him, because you rolled exactly
to hit. Yep.
And I was like, Gorman.
Yep.
One and done, buddy. He usually gets one bomb off.
Which still hurts. Like losing out on that 16 or 18 points of an activation, like I would much rather enjoy having the Storm Strider be able to do something like take out both of the gun mages that are behind the wall, and then have Anastasia di Bray charge the Thamarite, which I think she might get. It's close, but she might get it.
It was close, and I think I had him positioned. It's hard to see on here. I declared the intent, so like he was partially facing the board edge. So like for you to get the back strike, you'd have to charge past the gun mages, and there she murdered a poor gun mage.
One thorn gun mage bites the dust.
That's 2 sniper shots off the table because they each have rate of fire 2. So it's like, having a 3-man unit with range 10, like. It hurts when one of them dies.
Yeah, it's a lot of value. So, like, Anastasia di Bray, in my opinion, just, like, made her points back for that. Not only just that, but giving me the...
She killed 3 points worth of models, and she's 3 points.
I forget how expensive those guys are.
They're 9 points for a full unit.
So this is where I'm figuring if I can charge the one Cinerator that's off on the top side of the forest. I have the very slightest line to be able to see 3 inches into the woods to get him. And then over here, I'd be able to grab like a couple more Cinerators. But then like I've been playing with deep threading 120s so much that like I forget what it's like to only be able to charge your normal threat.
Yeah, charging 8 inches, like that's unheard of. Like
it's horrible. Like I miss my Judicator with the 12-inch threat. Like where's that thing at? But and you know another problem with coming from Khador is nothing's threat is what it seems. So like now that I've got this thing going on, I'm like, what? The Hurricane's so mopey. But the Hurricane is great. Like at first I was really like meh about it, and then like because he's in here for points really, because I just couldn't. I think the Stormwall is just a little bit more expensive, but his guns are good. Like really,
his
sweet.
Guns are good. The Earthquake Arcing's good.
I have been getting lucky with my power tokens for Storm Striders, though, not to cut you off, but I just noticed the one went, and both of them are loaded on 3, so the one that can shoot is going to start peppering off some of these Cinerators, hopefully, because of proc Vengeance on one of the units, so I'm trying to whittle down that one to make sure that there aren't vectors to my no-camp Striker. And
I mean, but you feated.
I did feat, so, like, there's that, but, like, at that rate, I'm armor 21 or 22, like...
You're 15 base. I think you're 15, 16 with blur on you too. So like,
yeah,
even if that Thamarite tries to shoot you, I need 11s.
Yeah, it's pretty. He's not easy to kill, but it doesn't mean I want to give you the opportunity. So now I'm hemming and hawing on what to do with this Hurricane, because I can't really threat anything into the forest with melee, and I was really hoping to be able to get the Toro, but again, Ethan put him at the right range to stay out of my threat. So maybe we're trying to figure out some other shots or something. I don't know what's going on here.
I think you're measuring to see your line of sight past the forest with that Strider, because killed that Cinerator, and you're trying to shoot the back line now.
Yep, I'm trying to scalpel out some more.
Because they all ran, so they're only 17. So he's dice off 2, so boosted 7's the kill. That's pretty average.
Yeah.
Luckily, the leaps didn't do anything at dice -7.
Yeah, your positioning was really nice to not give me any of the solos, but I do end up taking out 3 Cinerators this turn, which is not nothing considering that you're really relying on those weapon masters in order to crank the damage through.
No, and I wasn't expecting Stryker to come up. I thought Stryker was going to play it safe and just hide because that's what I'm used to with Stryker.
There's no such thing as safe with me.
No, he came up with that mighty POW 13 Quicksilver.
With Reach 1, like... I'm reading Flashpoint 1 or Act 1 right now, and they're just like this massive, big, awesome sword Quicksilver that's strapped to his back with magnets. And then it's like I look down, and it's Reach 1. What's up, Stryker? We got to talk about you getting some like real weapons here.
Hey, Quicksilver Mark II though, that has reach.
I wonder. I bet as he gets like bigger in his big boy steps, like I think Stryker 2's got to be Reach 2.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
that's
so
what I'm saying because it goes Mark II.
Gotcha. When you said Mark II, I confused the wording.
And here's some cute stuff. So he walked up the Hurricane. I procced counter charge.
Double cute.
And then I ad mode away.
Yep.
To stay out of melee range. So I did 6 damage with my charge under his feet. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, getting some early damage in on that Hurricane. So I'm just like, yeah, whatever. We'll just start shooting. And because you cranked the damage roll on that, it was pretty good, to be honest with you.
6 damage under your feet's not bad.
Yep. So now I'm just slamming the front pod of Cinerators. It means that Storm Strider is going to be pretty okay from them and the Mangler, too. So, like, the Manglers, like, it's order of activations weirdness. You can't shield wall with them because they're knocked down. Or you can shield wall with them. They'll get the order. But they won't get very far because of it.
No, they're speed 4.
Yep. And I think with the next gun, I end up... no, never mind. I think Storm Strider might have missed something. Maybe I'm blending my turns. But we end up taking out the one that we hit. So that's good.
He slammed, knocked down the other ones, did nothing with collateral.
Unfortunately, it means that I just do a one-body proc for Vengeance, which is not really where I want to live. I'd rather have been able to shoot into that other unit, but I just wasn't able to see and get the damage I needed there.
And then there's the right side. You're trying to see if you can slam that guy in the forest.
Yep, and he's the quickened forest guy, so like def 15 on those, but I'm rat 6, so I only need a 9. I got the focus to spare. I haven't used any of it yet because I figured I'd boost the little shoulder gun, or not the shoulder guns, the nipple guns, because like those ones are a little bit more on the mopey side. Not that I need good numbers to kill your stuff.
And there, I think you rolled it. And
yeah, I rolled it and missed it. So now I'm taking the nipple gun into this thorn gun mage, and he gets deleted. So that was great for him.
He just dies.
Like I'm able to score this zone on my turn, and that's perfect. I want to be able to get proactive in the scoring game, and this is the 100% the reason why I took turn 2.
Yep.
So that I could pepper off any of your contesting models because I have the ability to do so.
No, I agree. Like, it's very rare when I win the die roll that I go second, because usually I just like to project threat, but I think you going second was smart, because now you're setting the table, because I had to run stuff to contest, and my stuff's pretty expensive. Like, I have solos, but they all, like, all their support needs to come together.
Yeah.
And, like, throwing away Cinerators to contest, like, it hurts.
Yep,
and I know you're going to be going into your feet, so it's like...
Yep. So we did drop another Thorn Gun Mage on the other side, so that's important too, because I do want to get rid of these contesting models on my flag.
Mm-hmm.
So I think here the Journeyman gets to be a boss and aim to shoot and kill the other Gun Mage.
Yeah, with
and
his
then
rat
he repos.
Yeah.
So that's even better, because now I can get rid of that Thamarite business. And I don't have much to do with this Lancer. I'm kind of clustered up in the middle, so the arc nodes don't bother me. I was going to just charge this gun mage to kill it, but then I'm like, I'll just run to engage so then I can contest your zone. This way you're not going to score on my turn, and that's really good for me. And the Morrowan grabs the flag and is trying to stay out of Anastasia's charge threat, but I don't think she can based on where she needs to be. So she holds up on this flag and turns to face so that Anastasia is going to have a real hard time getting back arc on her. And if she does, the Journeyman can just aim and shoot her in the back.
And, like, with your positioning, I couldn't get rear arc without taking a free strike, and she's just going to explode.
Yeah.
And I think you running in the zone was better than just killing a gun mage, because if I score 1 to your 1...
We did miss the cute thing here, so that 6 damage you did to the Toro, the Trencher Engineers just walked up and took it all off.
I know. He baited me. He baited me so hard. I was so excited about the countercharge Admo. Ugh. So going into my turn 3, I got some vengeance moves to do, and it's Stryker's feet turn. Those storm walls or that Hurricane's armor 24, so I'm like, vengeancing into it, even with weapon masters, isn't worth it. So I'm just positioning to get charge lanes for when they do activate. And then there, the back pod is vengeancing around the knockdown pod, just the position for some charge lanes for where they're gonna go. But they only charge 7 and threaten 9 without quicken, so like I'm gotta decide what focus I'm gonna keep. And then there, I'm measuring up Mangler threats. He can only get to the Lancer if I quicken him. So now I got a lot of quicken like dilemmas.
Yeah, quicken is like a weird resource for her because like you didn't have it on. You have it on the unit you needed it on in that second turn, but like coming into this turn, that unit doesn't need it anymore.
No.
So you've got like 2 other places it needs to be in order to get the big work done. So you're gonna end up making a compromise and saying that I need to choose which one of these things I'm okay with not getting.
Yep. It's basically like I got to cycle it somewhere. And there we measured if Anastasia could charge that Lancer in the butt and contest. And then I was debating, it was way out. And I was debating, do I go on the top to counter his Anastasia? I ended up going to the bottom to contest his flag and maybe do some damage to that Lancer. And like I know 100% Ashlynn's going to feat this turn. And then I just got to decide where my focus is going to go. Because I can get, if I quicken, both my jacks onto the Hurricane. So I could allocate 2 to the Toro. I only upkept Chosen Ground for free thanks to Sylys. So I have 6 focus. So I could give 2 to the Toro, give 1 to the Mangler, cycle quicken, camp nothing, which is risky. But with Chosen Ground and my feet, it's really hard to assassinate her. But you have snipes so you could shoot me from outside my threat.
Yeah.
So I was really worried about going down to 0.
But also, like, with the shooting and E-leaps, like, I can't not ignore everything in front of me. So, like, it's a weird situation to be in. But I think with your position behind the forest there, you're in a good spot to where it's really not something you need to worry about.
Mm-hmm. And, like, that's pretty much where I feel like Ashlynn is going to have to hide. Like, if I want to survive in feet, I need to go back there. I ended up, I think eventually I just gave focus to the Toro. The Mangler, I realized if he charged the Hurricane, Ashlynn was going to have to go in that zone and try and score it, and then I think she dies.
Yeah, for sure. I think that at that point, the Storm Striders can move around enough to be able to grab a beat on her.
Mm-hmm. They'll just walk outside of feet and shoot me, or they can aim Superconductor and have decent shots of hitting me. And then there I'm measuring where I can go for my feet, because I want to catch that Thamarite, because I want to try and hunt down some of the solos in the back or the units, maybe pop a Squire, but under your feet it's just rough. And if you roll 1 shot for them, and then there I'm measuring charge lanes, and I'm like, if they get quickened, I can maybe get on an Archon. I'm like, maybe if 2 of them get there, 3 of them I can kill it. And then I remember, oh yeah, it's Stryker's feature, and that thing's armor 25.
Yeah, she was in feet with the Squire, so I was like, no, I think she's out. And then I realized the +2 range on control, and I was like, yep, she's super in and very, very hard to kill.
Yep. And then there I'm measuring, okay, if Ashlynn moves here, her feet can extend over so I can at least get those guys in feet. So like I can get a couple of them in. But there's my feet token. She ended up not popping a shot with her gun because I wanted to camp that focus, and I was like, shooting a hand cannon into your feet does nothing.
Yeah, it's diddly, right?
Raggedy Mandy walked up behind the woods, popped some death field action, because that's my only armor debuff.
That was a Thunderbolt shot. So this was your fun deal of trying to get Anastasia in the flag, is just Thunderbolting the Lancer away, so now she can charge and gets within 4 to contest, which is really unfortunate.
That was really cute. And
I wanted to go up another point this turn. Like I didn't think that you would. I mean, like maybe the Cinerators could contest too, by the way, with the way they charge. But like I knew you had the mini feet, and that would make it a little bit harder for them to get to where they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. And then there I was measuring if I could maybe aim with the Thamarite, but Anastasia's in combat. She's right behind me, so I'd have to turn. I wouldn't be in my feet range, so I'd have to fly over the flag. But then if I'm not behind that wall, like that Storm Striker is just going to murder my poor dude. So there's my Thorn Gun Mage running, takes a free strike.
Yeah,
dies.
just to neg 4 defense, essentially, Anastasia di Bray.
Yep. And then there I'm measuring to see if I can fly over, stay within an inch of the wall, and eventually I was like, I can't. So I'm just going to go up there, turn a little bit to see Anastasia, be outside of my feet, and just call it good and hope I roll enough shots. And then off camera I rolled 3 shots, and I think the first one just plunked her.
Yeah, you didn't need much after that, and I think from there you just decided to not take shots into the Strider to manage your time.
Yeah, because there was no point, and the Squire
Squire's
was
out.
just out.
Yeah, just out.
Like, if I'd flown to the other side, I could have, but then I'm not behind that wall, and I'm just going to die.
Yeah, I will take that Thamarite out if I can, because it might take Strangewayes a little while to get over there, but if he gets there, that flag's mine. You're not, like, Ashlynn's got to be the one to deal with him, and I don't think she wants to do that.
No. And then there I got my 3 Cinerates charging, and they do decent damage with Dark Shroud. They're POW 13 Weapon Masters, but they're still off 11.
Yeah, it's off 11. Yep, it's going to be rough.
But I mean, like, that averages like 3 to 4 damage, and then you can see on the grid there, I'm doing like some chunks.
Yeah, it's like the Death Shroud's kind of like messing with my feet a little bit. Like, this Hurricane doesn't have Arcane Shield on it, so he's only sitting at defense 20 or armor 24. So I was feeling like I could survive this, but things got a little shaky there with one of the Cinerators rolling a good damage roll.
Mm-hmm. And they pop mini feet there, so that way they could shield wall. Toro goes in, starts smacking away. He's POW 18, Dark Shroud up to POW 20, so he's only off 4. I decided to boost and crank the damage there in that first one.
Yeah, that one hurt a lot. I was not looking forward to that.
No. His fist did nothing, so I just buy an attack, and then they boost damage. And I think I cripple that side.
Yeah, the right side goes down, so now we're moving over to the left for a couple damage of spillover. But you really have to figure out like what you're going to do with it. I don't know if you have enough gas in the tank to completely take him out, but it's risky now because it just takes one spike, and then that shifts the Hurricane's existence quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And then there, the bottom units, those two had the sack, their action to stand up, and they just walked forward. And now I'm measuring, I can get those 3 Cinerators. I'm praying for some spikes, because if I can take down this Hurricane, then I can control the middle, and then I'm feeling okay about this.
Yeah, the Hurricane like gives me a lot of leverage in the middle here, and if that goes, then like I really have a hard time.
Because then I got my full health Toro, I got all those Cinerators, I don't have to worry about the slam guns, and like I'm under my feet, so I'm gonna hit. I need not snakes on 4 dice. And there you see the first one does okay damage. Going through, chipping a little bit more, and
that was a big one.
Yep, and then I come up short. Nothing's crippled on the left side.
Yep,
and I wasn't able to scalpel out the mechanics, so I know that it's going to be fully functioning. They pop mini feet too, so that way they could repo up a little bit, just jam up there, and engage some of those repair bots.
Yeah, my engineers.
Yep, and there my Thamarites. I'm measuring if he can walk 7, maybe pop the Journeyman, but he's just out. Mangler just runs up there to stay in my zone.
Yeah, I think you really want to try and do something to this Lancer.
But he's in combat because I only pushed him 2 inches, so like I only rolled 1 shot, I think, and I missed.
Yeah, even with the reroll, you just couldn't quite connect. But he's sitting pretty high at 17. So.
Yeah, I need 10s to hit, even with a reroll, and only rolling 1 shot.
Yep, and nothing's crippled on that guy from Anastasia's attack. So
no. And then the Gibbs runs behind the forest, hide by Sylys, and then I flip over.
Alright, so if Stryker comes out ahead, I've lost really nothing, like literally nothing, I think. So I'm super happy with that. The Hurricane surviving is a big deal. I think I can punch through on Ashlynn's feet. I only need 5s, only need 5s to hit the Toro here. So I'd have to roll real bad to not get that. Stryker ends up upkeeping everything except for Snipe. I drop that off the Hurricane because I think we're at the point in engagement to where I don't really need that on him anymore. But Arcane Shield's still really important, of course. We give him the 2 focus he needs for doing what he does because Strangewayes is just going to top him off anyways.
Yep, so you allocate 1.
And I did end up kicking the Squire. So like I think this is the second time I've done it. Yeah, this would be the second time because on turn 2 I believe I did, so I could get some Arcane Bolt action going on. But I'm trying to figure out back and forth what to do with my turn, and since the Morrowan Archon is partisan for Cygnar, I can move up, I can charge and hit Anastasia di Bray, and then repo back onto the flag. So I'm happy here now that Morrowan owns that flag unless the Thamarite wants to come mess around with it. And then the Lancer ends up just charging in a way to where I'm outside of the line of sight of the Mangler, but I'm in the zone, and I killed the gun mage that was there, so now there's serious business with that Lancer. He's not really doing much. I mean, he didn't charge either. He just walked up and punched
Yeah, 'cause he was way out of control.
Yeah, way out of control. But now Ethan's got to deal with this Lancer that is literally meaningless to me other than contesting and scoring piece.
And there you just healed back 8 boxes, so it's your fully functioning 10.
10 boxes on that. So, again, the field mechanics would have been a better call here if I was looking at trying to do this kind of healing, but I still think the value in the Trencher Engineers is their versatility, and I don't know. Like, it's rough to figure out which one I'd like more. The field mechanics would have given me a D6 and then 3 or 4 other... 5 other? I can't remember.
If
how
you
many
take the
there
max unit, I think it's 5.
Yeah, and the max unit is the 5 points that the engineers are. So I think I probably would have been like better off with the mechanic or the engineer or the field mechanics in that one. But I'm okay with the engineers doing what they did. They've been fixing and doing what they need to, so it works for me. Here I get cute. I can't shoot with my Storm Strider engaged right now, so I move over Stryker and decide to get within a decent amount of range to where I probably won't drift onto myself, and I decide to Earthquake these Cinerators because my huge bases are immune to the knockdown that comes from it, so they don't have to worry about it. And now those guys are just sitting there in the dirt. Now my Storm Strider can do whatever it wants, and if my Hurricane gets lucky with the Toro, he can start punching them without needing to roll to hit, which means that Ashlynn's feat just kind of gets useless for that.
Yeah, knockdown is a really good way to get around her feet, and like I knew Earthquake was going to be big in this matchup, and then like I just clumped together.
Yeah, because you wanted to do the shield. It's the thing with... I feel like that's the biggest disadvantage you've got in this one is I've got the slam gun, so your shield wall is going to punish you, and I have Earthquake, so when the slam gun isn't useful, Earthquake's going to punish you.
Yeah, it's at least my battle group is immune to knockdown because of Chosen Ground, but all my poor infantry, there's no rise in this theme. Gibbs gives Feign Death within 7, so I thought that would be kind of like if you want to slam around, knock me down, at least then like it's harder for you to clear me out of zones.
Yep.
But when I'm speed 4 melee infantry, I really don't like to be knocked down. And there we just measure that top strider's out of my feet so he can just aim and do whatever he feels like.
Yeah, I think it was... I thought that I was going to be aiming to try and shoot this Toro out, but I'm just working back and forth on trying to figure out when I want to commit to that. So right around here, I'm trying to maneuver up my my Firefly just to get the Toro in range because I feel like maybe the Storm Strider could shoot down the Toro if the Hurricane comes up short, but I did spend a lot of time hemming and hawing about where I wanted to put my shots. I know the game's moving really fast right now. You can see the time clicking down real quick, but like I've eaten up a lot of time on my clock, and I have to be really cognizant of what's going on here. I had maybe for a hot minute a clock advantage with Ethan taking as much time as he did into my feat turn, but now I feel like I'm losing it hard.
Yeah, I spent 20 minutes in the Strykers feat turn, which is not... Like, you should never be taking that long. I was just trying to get work done under his feet, and that's what Stryker wants.
Yep, and here we find out that one of the Vengers that's behind the Hurricane is also... Cinerator, Jesus. Is also engaging my Storm Strider, so that's not good for me either because I can't see the stupid thing with anybody to deal with it, and Strangewayes is probably not going to be the one to go kill that thing.
Now with
so
a spray 10.
We just go ahead and use Empower to get it on the Hurricane, so now he's full.
Because I'm like, you need 5s under my feet, you boost just to make sure, and then your dice +1.
Yep, so in there I dropped the lowest dice, but I would have hit if I dropped the highest anyways. So
I know, you just instinctively, you're like, oh.
Yeah, I've been playing with Devil Signs Important so long. Oh man, can't get the Judicator out of my head.
And then there you can see, took out the shield in the first swing because he boosted damage.
Yep. I figured if I hit, boosting damage is my best bet for the early parts because I can probably flatten a system. And if I get the Cortex, then I think I'm not worried about the Toro so much anymore. But making sure the shield's down means that now I've got to really put some work into him because he can still hit me and do some work.
And then here you're deciding if you want to boost, and I think we end up saying no because your dice +2.
Yeah, there was a lot of going back and forth here for a solid minute on what I should do with myself, and then we kill it. I'm out of focus, but I'm good with that.
Yeah, you killed it, and like you crank some damage rolls there, and you just take it off, even under my feet. And then there's the Strider.
I just take a free strike. Yeah, I'm like, whatever, screw this Venger.
dice off 11 boosted does like nothing.
Yeah, no damage. So I'm in range to contest the flag, and then I've got some decent shots here that I can take into these Cinerators because one of them I get the back arc on, so even though he's engaged and in shield wall, it's really not that big of a deal to me anymore. And I had thought that I was in range with another one, but I wasn't for the back arc.
And then there you got excited about the free strike, so you just flipped it over and didn't really see where you were going.
Yeah.
And you were in Ash's feet, so I just told you the back up.
And I'm super running out of time right now. Like the clock is ticking. I'm down to like a minute and some change or something like that. Is that what that is back there?
I think you're down to like 7.
11 maybe.
Yeah.
The clock's at a weird angle, so it's hard for me to see.
There,
It's
you just
6
7.
minutes.
Yeah,
6
now
minutes.
you're under 7.
So I need to really figure out what I'm doing here because I feel like I've got a scenario advantage, and the longer this game goes, the more it's in my favor. So I just need to make sure my pieces are positioned to score and that Ethan can't get contesting pieces out easily. And I think at the end of this one, I'm able to get my zone, my flag, and then I contest Ethan's zone easy. The flag's contested, so I get to go up to 4 on this turn, I believe, or 5.
I think you went to 4 to my 2.
Yeah, 40 or 2 and that's pretty good for me. I feel like getting to that point on this turn is pretty decent and dangerous for me. I do have one more Storm Strider that can go. So with all these Cinerators knocked down, it means I can shoot some stuff, and I think I'm just trying to get some of the back Cinerators so they don't get good charges. And I think one of them I actually miss under Ashlynn's feet, so that was no good.
Yep, even through a boost.
Yep, and the one I do take off one. Like these guys, they weren't hard to get off with the ionization up from the Firefly.
No, your dice damage. Like your dice minus 4 under shield wall, and it's like a boost.
Yep.
Boosted 9, they're gonna fry.
And here I'm just taking a pot shot with a Journeyman.
Yep, into a knockdown guy.
Yeah, does nothing.
And then going into my top of 4, I have a slight clock advantage right now. I'm down to...
Slight?
I know, slight. I got about under
you
17
got 13
minutes.
minutes on me. Slight advantage.
Slight, but I'm down on CPs, and, like, he still has his 3 huge bases going into turn 4, so, like, I gotta get work done. So there I'm doing some vengeance attacks. My feet's gone, so I actually have to worry about hitting, but it's hitting a Colossal with Matt
defense
8 guys.
Yeah.
Matt 7, the Vet Leader. So there you
I think that first one blew the damage roll up.
Yeah, he re-crippled that left side.
Yeah, it was real bad. Like I was not expecting that. I guess I could have expected it, but was hoping for it to not happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want the Hurricane to last as long as I can, and watching the Vengeance attack do that much damage hurt.
And there at Vengeance over, try and hit the Firefly, and I think I miss.
The
'cause we had
Firefly
to
was
look it up.
13.
I rolled a 4, and
Yep.
I'm Matt 7 up to Matt 8 because of that leader from Ash.
Yeah, so you just missed by a little bit.
Just getting rid of some of my tokens. Oh, yeah, we had to do a corrosion check for my Cinerator that ran through the pool when he charged.
Yeah, I was just kind of like thinking about future for nickel and diming him with a Journeyman hand cannon. Wanted to make sure that damage would get there.
So, yeah, I'm down the 2 Cinerators in the top unit. The bottom unit, there's only, I believe that leader.
I think there's 2 in the pod and then
the
one
2 in the
guy.
pod are knocked down.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't charge with the back one because then the front 2 won't get to attack.
So I think I did the Earthquake and didn't even roll damage.
That doesn't do damage.
Oh, well, there we go.
It's just an AoE 5 auto
I keep
knockdown
mixing
on everything.
Why do I keep mixing Earthquake and Obliterate? Because they both have the force to tear the earth apart, asunder, or whatever it is.
Fluff blurps don't equal rules. So I'm doing some math in my head here. So this turn, I know I gotta push it, but then I need to be smart. So my Mangler down there, he can't see the Lancers, and he's out of trample distance, so I need to quicken, but I need to give him enough focus. So I allocated 2 because I'm planning on giving him quicken. I still upkept Chosen Ground for free. And I still got to deal with that Hurricane who's almost dead.
Yeah.
But I'm running out of meaningful activations, and, like, I'm debating sending Ashlynn on a Hurricane. Because, like, she's a POW 11 Webmaster with 13 with Dark Shroud. Like, she'll kill a heavy. She'll kill a Colossal that only has 12 boxes left.
Yeah, but then she's staring down the barrel of 2 Storm Striders.
she just dies. Like, if it was feet turn, I think I'd risk it. I've done that before, because then,
because then you got a chance, right?
Like,
She's like defense 17.
Oh, yeah, she is. And then she'd be in those woods, so for def 19.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm like, I feel like I'd die, because I got to cycle quicken, so then I'm only going to be sitting on one again.
Yep.
And, like...
And Stryker's mat 7 at least, so like there's that. And I've got one more. I think I got one more in the chamber for the Squire to kick. So like, that's not nothing.
And then there's me doing my Dark Shroud walking forward, and then I realized I got to go over more because the left Cinerators have to go, so I need to keep them in. So I ended up changing where he goes. Or I guess technically just repos over there thanks to Gibbs hiding back there.
Yeah, I think it gets dicey if you don't have Dark Shroud where you need it.
Yep. So those 2 Cinerators go in. I wish I'd rolled more on the camera, because, like, I guess what we can see on your grid.
Yeah, the grid will show what they do.
First one, re-cripples the other side, does decent damage, leaves you on 2 boxes.
Yep, 2. But you have the attacks to deal with it, and then you take them off. So.
Luckily, the 2 Cinerators are able to do it, but, like, if they came up short...
yeah, having to use more activations, like, that really takes out your output. Now, there was a point where I thought maybe I should have cycled over or dropped Arcane Shield from somebody and cycled it over to the Hurricane to keep it around more. But honestly, looking at the way the damage rolls worked, I don't think it would have saved him, but it would have cost some activations.
Mm-hmm. And there, I'm wasting clock measuring if I can get that back guy just walking to get in Dark Shroud range from Raggedy Mandy, because the middle one would get pushed back into Dark Shroud range, but would push me out of melee, so I wouldn't get the bonus. So eventually I just had to walk up and punch. That way the front 2 could sack their movement. And I do minimal damage, because no charge bonus.
Yep, and that one's sitting at arm 22, so...
Yeah, like, dice off 11 Weapon Masters is like...
Yeah, it's really not going to get a lot of damage done to him.
No. And then so I decided that front one that just was walked up, punched a Firefly to try and get some chip damage on it.
Yeah, no systems are out though, so he's still sitting fine.
Yep. And then there I'm measuring if I can get a line with that Thamarite. If he flies over, maybe I pop the Journeyman, which I should have done first.
Yeah, because then you can get rid of Arcane Shield.
Arcane Shield. But I'm like, I was like, at first I was waiting for him because I'm like, I think I'm going to need him to kill that Lancer if the Mangler comes up short. But I was like, I didn't know if he could kill the Journeyman with focus on him. And if I only roll 1 shot, I'm not killing the Journeyman. That's the problem with D3 shots. Like,
yeah, D3 plus 1 would have been way better.
Or just D3 and you roll in the maintenance phase. Like,
yeah, so you can plan for it. Yeah.
So there goes the Mangler. He tramples over his 10 inches thanks to Quicken. I buy an attack. I hit the 7. I'm dice plus 2.
Big damage roll.
Yep. I cripple his left arm, which doesn't matter,
and
but I leave him on 2 boxes.
Yep.
And his movement.
Yep. Movement and the right arm. So he's got his shield and his movement. So he's going to be hard to get rid of.
Yep. So I'm moving the Thamarite over. I'm like, okay, he should pop a Lancer and then maybe be able to shoot the Journeyman. But then, like, the angle's all wrong, and I needed to keep him in the zone.
Yeah, you wanted to keep him in the zone just so that I couldn't clear it easy.
And so I could shoot the Lancer, because you're at the edge of it, so I need to stay 12.
Yep.
So I rolled 3 shots, and then I realized your movement's not out. You're in combat, so I need 10s, and I don't hit
not a
any
single
of them.
one with a reroll even.
So I missed 6 10s, which isn't great math.
Nope.
But I thought, like... So in my head, I'm like, this isn't good, so I'm not going to score my bottom zone. So I just don't have anything left in the tank down there.
Yep, and now I've got like 30 seconds or 3 minutes.
Yep. We go here. You're at up to 4 to my 2 because you weren't able to clear their top zone your last turn. So that's why you need 3 more to win with 3 minutes left.
Okay, so I got to move quick here. I think I envision a scenario victory. I need 3 points to win, which I can get 2 pretty easily. The turn previous, I could not get those Cinerators out of my zone. The one that is on the silver one, That one wasn't in the zone before, but that UA was left on 2, and I just didn't have enough to take him out. So I wasn't able to go to 5 and cinch up the game for me then. But now I've got to figure out how to deal with this. So I moved the Storm Strider because his goal is to take these guys out.
And they didn't shield wall, so he's dice -2 in the butt.
Yep. So we are doing the power dice here, or doing power tokens when I need to. I think I got 2 of them this turn, or 1 of them. 2 of them, I think. So we've popped the last Cinerator pretty easily. I'm trying to pay attention to my time. I got like a minute left here. The Morrowan Archon's feeling fine at the flag. There's nothing contesting it. My Lancer's fine where it's at. So now I need to figure out, is there anything else I can do to try and get these extra points? I can't clear the Archon and the Mangler to get points there. So there's really not a big chance there's not a good chance for me to clear anything to score this turn. So the Storm Striders just try to do work where they can and start throwing dice into the Mangler. This probably was a waste of time.
I think you were trying to fish for a crit
crit disruption, yeah.
Because then I can't clear that guy.
Yep, and then he would stay there. But I'm down to time enough to where like I need to get off this and then move. So I run the Firefly into the zone and say, hey, that's it, I'm done here. So we skip turn transitions because I got 3 stupid seconds left, and I'm just like, let's keep going. And now we got Ethan's turn here.
Yep. So the Mauler, or not Mauler, he's punching. He hits the 7, kills the Jack. We're good to go. So now I'm going to start scoring points, but I'm still behind. Like, he scored 6 to my 2. Yeah, I have clock advantage, but if we push this to turn 7, and I didn't know if he could quickly flip back the 3 seconds every turn, so I got to get work done. And those Storm Striders are full health. I haven't touched them. Like,
I think one took a couple points.
It took so long to get just the Hurricane. So there's Ashlynn. She went up and man-moded a Firefly with her POW 11 stick.
Just got out of there.
And there's Cinerators walk up.
The day.
I try and punch the Journeyman. I hit him, but he's camping, so I didn't kill him.
Yeah, you rolled pretty low.
And I was knocked down, so I couldn't charge. There, I'm just contesting because he only has 3 seconds. Archon moves over, finally pops a shot in the Arlan, and misses.
Yep. No, he hits. He only takes 2 damage.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I hit and just roll.
Yeah, Arlan's really tanky. Arm 16 with 8 boxes. Ugh.
And there I'm just running stuff. Thamarite runs up to contest. And then I think here I pause it, or we're doing the math. I pause it to ask, like, because I didn't know if we wanted to do a transition. And here we're just talking.
Yeah, we basically call a game there. Like, I only have 3 seconds to do this, but then we get into a small discussion about what I could do to try and drag the game out a little bit more. I don't think I can do anything in 3 seconds to contest anything. But then we just talk about me being able to run the Morrowan Archon into his zone to be annoying and just try and have him choke on it for the minute. So we started up. The Morrowan, well, yeah, this is like a flash race, right? Because I got 3 seconds to do this. She runs in, and then I run out of time because I'm slow. And so we still give the game to Ethan, but I think we play this out a little bit. Or no, we don't play it out, do we?
I think we take this turn just to see what would happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've been here for 2 hours, so we might as well just do it.
So we're talking about it because, like, in a perfect world, you run the Archon, you power up your 6, you flip the clock. In a perfect world that takes you 2 seconds, you got 1 second left. We're like, okay, it's turn 5 now.
Yeah,
turn 5. Can you flip your clock back in under a second for 2 turns? Like, if you hover hand over that and just literally press it as soon as I get to it.
Yep, I don't know.
I think we talk about it because I'm like,
because you can't clear these things right now. Like, it's not easy. And the Mangler's out of control already, I think.
No, the Mangler's back in because Ashlynn charged.
Yep,
so, like, if the Mangler can quickly kill that Archon, and I think we're just talking through, I don't think we actually go through the motions. Like, if I can quickly kill it, you can't contest anymore, and you don't have time to kill stuff. So, yeah, I can't. You won't be scoring anything, so on my turn, I'll go to 3, and then I'll score on your turn, then I'll score on my turn, then I'll score on your turn, and, like, it evens out.
Yeah, so the really what I needed to do is just, like, I think with a few more plays with this list, I'll be able to, like, work on target prioritization and make sure that I get everything where I need it to go and not like fart around with things. It was a really good game. I enjoy this list quite a bit. I still am on the fence on whether it's going to be trencher engineers or field mechanics. I think in the long run the mechanics are probably better.
Yeah, they have a lot more healing, and like the D3 plus ones add up. And I want to point out now, because I noticed it, how much cleaner my side of the board is. I made
Yeah,
a
it's
point.
a
I'm
big,
like, I'm going
big
to put all my
improvement.
sticks together after last game where it was just a disaster.
Yeah, big ol' improvement.
I know. Like, I'm going to look so pretty on the stream.
And shutting down the lights. It's getting ready to close up shop here.
Closing times basically playing in the background. But no, it was a good game. I was really worried going in with the earthquakes, the slams. I was like, oh boy.
Yep, a better player probably could play this game a lot better than I could. But I think for a caster that came out of the Mark II battle box, like, he's still really strong.
Yeah, it's Stryker 1. Like, I know he's one of the top casters in Cygnar right now. And I mean, I don't know if it's Flame so much carrying him, but Stryker 1's kit's always been good. Like,
and heavy metals, I like this list. It's double Stormstrider 120, or triple 120s. Like, you can't play Warmachine in a more pure fashion.
no, it's just, it's high arm. It's hard to kill. And, like, yeah, you're low miles, but you have so much clearing and utility with the lightning generators, the even the melee attacks have lightning generators, the hurricane slamming, Stryker earthquaking, you have blur, you have snipe, you have arcane shield. Like, it's just a solid kit.
Yeah, he seems like he's got a really limited kit, but it's really dynamic, and he can do like just about anything with it, especially when you combine Earthquake with the 120s. Like, yeah, I can slam, or I can knock down things, but the 120s don't care.
No, and like whenever you get people, like, they get base to base with your 120 with all their infantry, and it's like, okay, Earthquake my Hurricane in the butt, and the AoE 5 is just a millimeter bigger than a huge base. Now all your dudes are knocked down. Like, I've seen that countless times.
Yep, it's really, really interesting stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this game. It's a little bit on the longer side, a lot longer than the last one.
I know that. Like, we got past turn 2 and we're like, whoa, we both have 40 minutes left. We actually have to play this.
Yeah,
like,
it's weird, right?
Like, my stamina was gone. I drank my 2 teas already, and I was like,
Killed a Stromboli.
I know. You couldn't see it on camera, but I was just gorging in the corner eating a meat Stromboli.
Yep.
I was like,
this was a really fun time. So let us know what you thought about both lists. See, you can post below if you run them differently and all that fun stuff. But we enjoy these battle reports. They're real fun for us to make. So we look forward to making more, and we'll see you all in the next video.
oh, wait.
Oh,
You
wait.
agreed to have me, like, I get a 2-minute rant about War Room and Llaelese Resistance.
Okay, yes. If
For
people
any-
have watched up to this point, then
I
you
know.
deserve it.
I've earned this right. Don't you take this from me. So just for any potential Llaelese resistant players, be careful with War Room, because War Room lets you make illegal lists. It lets you mix and match the factions. It's supposed to be you can take 2 Protectorate, 2 Crucible Guard, or 2 Cygnar. War Room lets you take Arcane Tempest Gun Mages and Cinerators, and lets you take max FA. So when I was dabbling in mercs, this theme is what got me in. I bought 2 units of Gun Mages. I bought 2 units of Cinerators.
Sounds like a really fun list.
I took it to an event, and I told the TO, Conflict Chamber must be wrong because War Room lets me make this list. And then we had a nice discussion about how, no, Conflict Chamber's never wrong.
Oh, no.
And then mid-event, I realized I was running an illegal list.
Fun times.
So that's my rant. Just make sure you're actually reading.
Yep,
Don't-
read your themes.
I know, don't trust War Room. It lies. And then you end up with 2 units of Gun Mages.
Yep.